a drive around Albuquerque from UNM to the Sunport, you know how bad the traffic can be sometimes.
Unfortunately so, but now the city does want to change that, and get this, it wants you to decide how to fix the problem. News 13's David Romero is live near University and Avenida Cesar Chavez. So David, what's going on with this right here?
Well, Matt, you have today and again on February 5th to give your input to the Mid-Region Council of Governments on how to make the commute near here a whole lot smoother. Now, officials with Mr. Cog estimate about 74,000 drivers make their way through the areas of UNM, CNM, and the Sunport every day. And if you're one of them, you know that causes a lot of backup and congestion. So, at the meetings, you can look at different strategies provided and discuss how to make the commute better over the course of the next 10 years or so. Some of those plans include new routes.
The study will commence sometime in the fall, and then what we'll do is take those best potential routes and try and get some funding through the federal government to be able to implement those at some time.
And of course, today's meeting is the second of 3, and that will take place at the Student Union Building on the UNM campus in Lobo Rooms A and B. Matt, back to you.
Thank you, David. Go ahead out there and give the city your 2 cents. Now, the meeting is not just to talk about traffic and parking problems in the area right now, as David talked about, but also to see what's going to be best years down the road. Well, some kids here in Albuquerque will be lining up at a few different bus stops to get to school this morning. The new stops are for students at James Monroe Middle School. Remember, I told you about this earlier this week. It's when last November, one parent complained about the old bus stop near Unser and McMahon in northwest Albuquerque. That parent says he saw people in the area beat a dog in the middle of the day, and he says that criminals live nearby, so the district is changing that stop again. One of them now going to 3 stops. It starts this morning.
A man who prompted a SWAT situation near an Albuquerque elementary school is in jail this morning. It started near Central in Wyoming early yesterday morning. Police say 26-year-old Armando Lopez threatened to attack his pregnant girlfriend and her family. That prompted a foot chase and a SWAT standoff near Zia Elementary School in northeast Albuquerque. The school was placed on a precautionary lockdown while police searched the area.
A DOT worker here in New Mexico accused of driving drunk in a crash is now off the hook and back on the job today. Prosecutors dropped charges against this man, Ronald Nodell. They say a statement from a witness in the case was missing and police never actually saw him driving drunk, so the prosecutors say they had no choice here. However, investigators say Nodell's blood alcohol level was nearly 4 times the legal limit when he hit a parked car and then drove home. Well, the man who admits he was drunk when he flipped his SUV in Albuquerque last year, killing someone else who was riding in it, should find out this afternoon how long he's going to spend in prison for this. Luis Elvila Calvo pled guilty by homicide by vehicle charges and DWI charges last month. He admits he caused a deadly crash last January on I-40 near Atrisco Vista. We'll let you know how much time he is set to spend later today.
If you work in downtown Albuquerque, expect to see some road work being done on Lead Avenue between I-25 and Broadway. The project is designed to make the area more pedestrian friendly. Once crews finish the work on Lead, they'll do the same thing to Cole Avenue, the one-way out of downtown. The repair work is costing about $750,000. It should be finished sometime by the summer. Demolition crews are taking down an abandoned house on James Avenue in Albuquerque today. The house caught fire over the weekend. Firefighters think it was intentionally set Sunday night. A house which sits near 4th and Griegos caught fire one other time, and a shed in the back has caught fire twice. The Safe City Strike Force team says the James house has been on their radar before.
The FBI is now looking for a man with a gun who may be on a bank robbing spree here in Albuquerque. About 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, this New Mexico Bank and Trust at Coors and Montano got robbed. Then, less than an hour and a half later and less than a mile away, investigators say the same man robbed the New Mexico Educators Credit Union. This was at Coors near Sequoia. This is a picture from inside that bank, and investigators say he looks a lot like the man who robbed the bank in the Northeast Heights last week. Well, Fast Bucks, the company that makes high-interest loans here in New Mexico, is in an awful lot of trouble right now. It is filing for bankruptcy. It's after a judge ordered it to pay $20 million, give it back to the people in the state, and stop giving out those high-interest loans. The state's attorney general says Fast Bucks has not stopped, though, so as a result, he has filed contempt of court motion.
The Santa Fe County Sheriff admits mistakes were made and is now dealing with a disturbing wrongful death lawsuit. It was filed by the father of 3-year-old Leland Valdez, who was beaten so badly he died. An autopsy report shows the little boy died from blunt force trauma to the head and neck in 2011. His mother, Tabitha Van Holtz, and her boyfriend, Stephen Gallegos, are charged with the death. There was evidence of old injuries all over the little boy's body. Leland's father, Andrew, says he reported those injuries 5 months before the child died. A detective had met with the father and son, but the case apparently went nowhere.